Okay, children, so we have completed our discussion about the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. And we have seen that from early a trading company, the company slowly, they have taken over the administration of some territories. Okay, that means they have started their trade in Bengal. After, means within a short time, they have taken control over the territories as well. And we have discussed about the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, the Bengal Nawabs. Okay, they were not ready to tolerate the British East India Company, so they launched a military attack. Okay, and the Battle of Plassey, Sirajuddaula was defeated, and Mir Jafar became the new Nawab. And when Mir Jafar complained, he was deposed from his position, and Mir Qasim was appointed as the new Nawab. Okay, then when Mir Qasim was complained, the famous Battle of Buxar was fought between the British East India Company and the Bengal Nawab Mir Qasim, and he also was defeated, and Mir Jafar was reinstalled in this position, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, children, after when Mir Jafar, when he died, the mood of the company has been changed. Okay. So, till that time, the company want a puppet ruler who can control, who can control that ruler, and they can control the political affairs of that territory. But after when Mir Jafar died, the mood of the company, it was changed. Okay. Now, the company officials, they want to become the Nawabs. Okay, that means that they can control the territory directly. Till that time, they were controlling, or they do have an indirect control over the Indian state. Okay, but after then, they really wanted to have a direct control over the Indian affairs of and the political affairs of India. Okay, so children, till that time, after and still Battle of Buxar, Britain. Okay, the East India Company, it is importing gold and silver coins for the trade. Okay, to finance the trade, British East India Company, they were importing gold and silver coins, but after the Battle of Buxar, it was stopped. Okay, because they have got the permission to collect taxes from the province of Bengal. Okay, Diwani. What do you mean by Diwani? It was a tax collecting department. Okay, so British East India Company, they can use the vast revenue resources of Bengal. Do we have discussed that one, children? Isn't it? Do we have discussed this?
Yes, ma'am.
Diwani, yes. Okay. So the East India Company can collect revenue. Okay. So it was only a trading concern. It was a foreign company, trading company, but they just got the power to collect taxes from an Indian territory, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that money was enough. Okay, that money was enough for them to finance their trade. So the import of gold and silver coin was stopped after the Battle of Buxar, because they have got control over. The company could easily finance the trade with the revenue they were collecting from Bengal. Is it okay, children? Is that point is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then not all the British officials. Okay, some British officials were corrupted, and Robert Clive, children, when he came at the age of 18. Okay, he was only 18 when he came to India, and when he left, okay, after some years, he was very rich. Okay, and all these British officials, they were leading a luxurious life. Okay, because they were collecting revenue from the people, and also many of them were corrupted. Okay, and Robert Clive, he himself was being cross-examined by the British East India Company, and he was acquitted because the company was suspicious about his wealth. Okay, and he was acquitted, but he committed suicide. Okay, but not all the British officials were corrupted. Some were good. Okay, good and honest people were there, and many of them has died in the battles. Okay, so the situation was that, you know, children, most of the officials, most of these British officials, they wanted to become Nawabs. Okay, because they wanted to rule the Indian territory, and also they all wanted to be rich. Okay, so I hope we have completed this. Children, is this points are clear? Is there any point do I need to explain more? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you know, children, so the company, it do not launch a direct military attack on the countries, okay, or against the local rulers or against any territories. Okay, and after the Battle of Buxar, the company appointed residents in each Indian state. Please note it down, children. It is very important. Resident, you know, it is a title given to a British official who is acting as a political or the commercial agent to serve the interest of the British East India Company. Okay, so after the Battle of Buxar, the company really wanted to control the Indian states directly. So they appointed residents in each Indian state to take care about the political and commercial agents, or to take care about the political and the commercial activities of that kingdom or of the state. Okay, so residents who were appointed by the British East India Company, and they were interfering the political affairs of each kingdom. Okay, and these are the people, the residents are the people who is deciding who would be the successor to the throne, and who would be appointed for the high administrative post. Okay, so in real terms, you know, children, all the important decisions regarding that particular state or particular territory was taken by not the ruler, but it was taken by the residents. Is it clear, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay, so the residence, it is a title given to a British official, okay, and who is controlling the political and the commercial things, okay, the commercial affairs of that local area or territory. Okay, so he is deciding, or he is the person who is deciding the successor, and also about about the interest of that country. Okay, so he is the person who is interfering the political affairs of that kingdom or country. So through this residence, the British East India Company, they do really had a direct control over the political affairs of that kingdom. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after the battle, you know, children, till the Battle of Buxar, the company, they do really want a puppet ruler. Okay, that means they can control, the company can control this ruler, but almost all time the puppet rulers were not willing to serve the company. Okay, sometimes they reacted. We have seen the example, that means Mir Jafar, he protested against the company. Then Mir Qasim, he also complained against the company. Okay, so now after the Battle of Buxar, the company, they do not want a puppet ruler. They really want to control the territory by themselves. Okay, so they appointed residents in each territory who could control the political affairs. Okay, so the ruler, only in name there would be a ruler. Okay, but almost all major decisions was taken by residents. Okay, by the residents, or the man who was appointed by the British East India Company. Okay, here you can see the picture, the Maharaja of Udaipur, and who is behind him, children? The British resident. Okay, that means that almost all major decision was taken by the British resident. The ruler, the Indian ruler, they do not have any power to take an important decision regarding the affairs of his own country. Okay, his own kingdom. Is it okay?
Yes.
Now, so we have seen that the British East India Company, they were at first they were reluctant to hold their power over the Indian states. Okay, but and also at first they were not launch. Okay, they do not launch a direct military attack over the state. Okay, and sometimes they devised many policies. Okay, they devised many policies to make many territories under their control. One such policy which was devised by the British East India Company, it was subsidiary alliance. Please note it down in page number 15, children. Last paragraph, first line you underline. After the Battle of Buxar, the company appointed residents, political and commercial agents to serve the further interest of the company. Then the next line, they try to decide who was to be appointed in administrative post or to be the successor to the throne. Okay, then now the company devised many policies, okay, to annex many territories or to make many territories under their control. One such policy which was devised by the British East India Company, it was subsidiary alliance. Okay, listen to me, children, after then you can underline. Okay, subsidiary alliance means that according to the terms of subsidiary alliance, Indian rulers were not allowed to have an independent army. That means that Indian rulers were not allowed to maintain an army. Instead, who will protect them? Company. Okay, the British East India Company will protect them. That means if any battles, okay, if there are any chance for any battle or a war, the company will protect the Indian ruler against their enemies. Okay, and in return, the Indian ruler, they need to pay an amount. Okay, they need to pay a huge sum for the maintenance of that British army. Okay, and if that ruler, if he failed to pay the amount, what will happen? If they fail to pay the amount, what will happen, children? That territory will be under the control of the Britishers. Okay, so it was a technique or it was a crooked policy which was devised by the British East India Company. It was known as subsidiary alliance. Okay, so according to the terms of subsidiary alliance, Indian rulers were not allowed to possess or to maintain an army. Okay, and the Indian rulers, okay, they were protected by the company, and in return the Indian rulers, they need to pay a huge sum for the maintenance of the British army. And if they fail to pay the amount, okay, if they fail to pay the amount, the part of their territory would be under the control of the Britishers. Okay, so this was a technique which was devised by the British East India Company to make many of these territories under their control. And children, when Richard Wellesley, when he was the Governor General, Awadh, okay, the Nawab of Awadh was forced to give half of his territories to the British East India Company in the year 1801 as penalty because he failed to pay the amount. Okay, so he failed to pay the amount. So the half of his territory, okay, of Awadh, half of Awadh was compelled to or forced to give or to surrender to the British East India Company in the year 1801. Please note it down, children. All these are important. Okay. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Are they doing all this with knowledge of the queen?
Sorry, Elsa.
Ma'am, does the queen allow them to do all these things?
No. It was that trading company, that was British East India Company. They were deciding all these things. Okay. And after the battle of 1857 only, the Queen, I mean, the British government directly involved in the administration of India. Okay. Till that time, it was all decided by that British East India Company.
So then Queen allowed to have territory in India.
They had given the permission for trade only. Okay.
Ma'am, after 1857.
After 1857, the direct control, the British government, they directly controlled India. Yeah.
I have a doubt, ma'am. Which time was first? If the time of trading company or after the British government?
Which?
Ma'am, like before 1857 or ma'am after 1857, which was the time more like worst than all?
Worst. I think all time was worst. Okay, children, because before before the company, the same policies, okay, they just wanted to control India. After 1857 also the same thing was happened, and and we people were fighting for our freedom, isn't it? And 1857, it is, I have told you, it is the first war of independence. It's also known as first war of independence because till that time, we people were not united and we haven't, we haven't reacted against the Britishers. That means we have reacted, but it was not united. Okay, only some people.
Only one small part.
Yes, that means that just like Sirajuddaula or Tipu Sultan, and means many small kingdoms or a ruler, they fought against the Britishers. But after during 1857, many of these rulers, they have united to fight against the Britishers, but still it was a failure. Okay, they were defeated by the Britishers, and after when Gandhiji, when he was here, he tried to make a movement. He was able to unite the people and the India as a whole. Okay, the people were reacted against the Britishers, and at last they do not have any other way. They just left from India. Okay. Okay, children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here in this, it was only a trading company. Okay, the British East India Company, it was a trading company. So they were taking the major important decisions regarding the political affairs of India. They were collecting the taxes from us, isn't it? So, children, it was not fair at all, isn't it?
Yes,
and before, they were importing gold and silver coins to finance their trade. After when the money which they were collecting from India, and it was enough for them. That means the revenue which was collected from the Indian people, it was enough for them to flourish their trade.
In that time, like 5 lakh will be more valuable than.
Yes, it cost much. Even a local ruler, he need to pay 5 lakh every month, isn't it?
Ma'am, it is like not fair, like the kings and all like
Rich, isn't it?
less like taking taxes from people in like heavy way, and all, it is not fair. Then Britishers like this also, it is not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. A foreign company, and they have any right to collect taxes from the Indians? No. Okay, it's not fair at all. Okay, so here, children, we have seen that the subsidiary alliance, okay, it was a technique. Okay, it was really a policy which was devised by the Britishers to control the Indian territories as well. Okay, it is not
Ma'am,
for the Indian people. Okay, or the for the benefit of the Indian ruler. Okay, so the subsidiary alliance, according to the terms of subsidiary alliance, the Indian rulers were not allowed to possess an army. Instead, the British East India Company, okay, the company army will protect the Indian ruler. In return, the Indian ruler, they need to pay a huge sum for the maintenance of the British army. If they fail to pay the amount, part of their territory would be under the control of the Britishers. Okay, so many,
ma'am,
by using this technique, yes, many of these territories was under the control of the Britishers. Yes, Elsa?
ma'am, when these kings they came, Britishers have changed their mind. Why didn't they try to stop them?
Why did?
Ma'am, these Britishers when they came to India, they were just trade companies. And
Sorry, some Gokul Krishna, mute your audio. Okay, Elsa.
ma'am, when these Britishers came to India, they were just a trade company.
Yeah.
And these rulers were more powerful than them. So why didn't they try stop? Why didn't they try to stop them? Stop them when they came to
The
know
Britishers, they do possess modern weapons. They had strong army. Okay, but the Indians, you know, the Indian rulers, they were very strong. Many strong rulers were there. But the main problem was, you know, children, they were not united. They were not united. Okay, and also they just cheated the other rulers. Now we were going to discuss about Tipu Sultan. We can see why he was defeated in the battle, because he faced a combined attack from the other Marathas. Okay, that means from the local rulers. He faced an attack. He faced a combined attack from the other local rulers. Okay, so there was no unity among the Indian rulers. That is one of the main reason for the failure of the Indian people, or why this Britishers, they could control over India. And the second reason, we were not modern. That means our army was not modern, and they do have many new technological means guns. Okay, I mean they do have many modern weapons with them, strong army with them, and enough money also. But the
I have
Indians,
heard that, like, ma'am, Tipu Sultan like alliance with France and import some like new technology weapons and all.
yeah, yes.
Ma'am, you told that they have modern weapons. So, ma'am, do you know the weight of a sword?
Weight of the
Sword.
sorry.
Sword. That kind of knife. Sword. 0.85 kilo.
Not like the small pistols that we have seen now,
Like,
isn't
ma'am,
it?
rifles and all.
No, ma'am,
Rifles.
that sword weighs 0.85
Oh,
kilo.
yeah, maybe. Okay,
It's written on
but
book only.
that time, you know, we people were fighting with a sword and all. Okay, so the Britishers introduced this rifles here in our country.
Rifles and shotgun.
Yes. Okay, so children, so subsidiary alliance, it is very important. Okay, that means that they devised many techniques to hold their power over the Indian territories. Okay, they do not launch a direct military attack, and they devised some techniques to hold their power over some territories. One such policy which was devised by the British was subsidiary alliance. So what do you mean by subsidiary alliance? Gopika, Parvati, can you?
Ma'am, not allowed to have independent army force.
Yes, the Indian rulers were not allowed to possess an army. Instead, who will protect them?
The company.
Company will protect them. In return, what they wanted to?
They had to pay money.
Money. Okay, for their service. And if they fail to pay the money, part of their territory would be under the control of the Britishers. Okay, and when Richard Wellesley, when he was the Governor General, Awadh, okay, Awadh, the Nawab of Awadh was forced to give half of his territories as penalty. Okay, and Hyderabad also the same way. On similar ground, Hyderabad also was
is it
taken
like-
under the
Ma'am,
Ah.
is it subsidiary?
subsidiary. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So children, so we have seen that when that means the company sometimes they will use some techniques, okay, and they do not launch a direct military attack, but sometimes if the rulers were powerful and strong, they will have a military attack. Okay, so they devised some techniques, and also sometimes they use their strength, okay, use their power to hold their control over the Indian state. Okay, one such example we can see in case of Mysore. Mysore, it was a powerful kingdom which was controlled by, which was ruled by Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. Okay, Hyder Ali, he was succeeded by Tipu Sultan, his son. Both of these rulers, okay, they were very strong and powerful, and they were not ready to tolerate the British East India Company. And Tipu Sultan, we know that he is known as the Tiger of Mysore. Do you know the reason why he is known as the Tiger of Mysore?
Ma'am, he killed a tiger.
Oh yes, he killed a tiger. He fought with a tiger and he killed the tiger. See children, it's given in page number 17. Tipu Sultan, he
The
became
legend
the
of
ruler of Mysore in 1782. And once he went hunting in the forest with a French friend, then he came face to face with a tiger. His gun did not work at that time, and his dagger, you know, knife.
Nice, ma'am.
Yes, it's fell to the ground. He battled with the tiger unarmed until he managed to reach down and pick up the dagger. Finally, he was able to kill the tiger in the battle. After this, he came to be known as the Tiger of Mysore. Okay, and he had the image of the tiger on his flag. Okay, so Tipu Sultan, he was the ruler of Mysore, and he was known as the Tiger of Mysore. Okay, and so Mysore, you know, it was commercially, it was an important center. So the Britishers were collecting many spices, okay, spices from Mysore. So it was a rich commercial center. Mysore was a rich commercial center, and Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, okay, those were the rulers who controlled Mysore from 1761 to 1799. Okay, now so here you can see children, this is a tiger toy which was possessed by Tipu Sultan, and after when he was defeated and killed by the Britishers, this was taken by the Britishers, and now it is being kept in the Victoria Albert Museum, London.
Ma'am, so now India never asked these things back.
Yes, now it is there in British Museum.
Ma'am, so India never asks these things back.
India, Modi, he asked it, but they never give. Okay, yeah, really. You know, children, so this this tiger toy, you know, its description is given in the textbook. Okay, so you can read it. And but when he was defeated, when Tipu was defeated by the Britishers, it was taken and it is
defeated
now
means
kept in the
defeated,
Victoria Albert Museum, London. Yeah.
And defeated means in a way killed.
Sorry.
And defeated means in a way that Tipu Sultan was like killed.
He
Ma'am, in
was
this
defeated
one-
in the battle. That means that he was, I mean, defeated by the Britishers means that? He failed in the battle.
No, ma'am, did Britishers killed him?
Ah, yes. Britishers killed.
Ma'am, in this this story, the Britishers are getting killed by the
Ah, yes.
tiger. Then why they want to keep it there?
Still they have taken it. Okay. Yes. Okay. So children, so here this Tipu Sultan. Okay. And he stopped the export through the port of his kingdom. He was not ready to tolerate the British East India Company. And children, he stopped the export through the port of his kingdom. He did not allow the British East India Company to export the goods through his kingdom. And also, he disallowed local merchants from trading with the East India Company. That means that he did not allow the East India Company, the local merchants, those who were selling the goods to the British East India Company, he disallowed the local merchants to sell these goods. Okay, that means cardamom, spices. Okay, spices. He disallowed the local merchants from trading with English East India Company, and also he do really maintain a strong friendly relationship with the French people, and he modernized his army. Okay, so by hearing all these, all these actions of Tipu Sultan, it made the British East India Company worried about his power, and they all wanted to crush his power. Okay, so we'll discuss it on the next class, children. 4 major wars, were fought between the British East India Company and with the Mysore wars, with Tipu and Hyder. And this war, that means in 1799, Tipu was defeated and he was killed. Okay. So this we will discuss it on the next class.